What up guys, it's Drop9 here with some very helpful Viper nades on your favorite map, Split. This will also feature some Poison Cloud nades, so I hope you guys enjoy, and with the end of that, let's get into the first nade. Starting out on A site, we're going to start out with a Poison Cloud nade, and this is for ramp. So what you're going to do is you're going to get up on this little flower pot here, get yourself into this little corner like so. We're going to pull out your Poison Cloud nade, and you can see these little grass tiles. You're going to get the top left-hand corner of this one here. Just going to left-click that. It's going to bounce off the wall, land in this little corner.
Poison
activate it. It covers pretty much the entirety of ramp. Now, there may be a slight gap they can kind of see, but the poison gas blocks it up pretty effectively. They can jump spot you, but you know, if you're trying to cross anyways, they know you're here, so just be wary of that. But it blocks almost all of ramp, and a lot of times people will just back off. So with that, let's get to the next nade. The next nade is again another Poison Cloud nade, and this one is for heaven going to A site. So what we're gonna do is get yourself into this little corner by the same flower pot we were just at. Yourself in this little corner here, kind of nice and snug like so. You're gonna look up, you're gonna see these little like outcrops on this building. You're gonna go to the second corner right here, and you're gonna left click and throw that nade, and what it should do is land perfectly on heaven.
Poison orb
so when you activate it, they can't see you in heaven coming out, and they can't see you unless he points at the that left side, and you're already far on site, so you have site control, and you're planting the bomb, and you could use this repeatedly since it's Viper's Poison Cloud to block off heaven and to force the retake to come through, you know, your other two chokes here. Alright, and with that, next nade. The last one is a little snake bite nade for behind left side sign and right side pillar. So what you're going to do is get the same corner as you did for the first nade. You're going to pull out your snake bite, and on this little pillar here you can see this gray little stripe. You're going to get to the top left hand corner, just slightly to the edge of the lighter gray pillar, slightly to the right of that. You're going to left click, and what this nade will do is bounce off and fall perfectly snug right here, so they can't peek you from sign unless they back up into the middle site, and they can't peek you from that tight angle on pillar. Alright, off to mid. Alright, I got two nades for you guys on middle. Both of them are Poison Cloud nades, first of which is coming out of sewers. Since you're pretty safe, you know, always check close angle. There might be someone on the other side of this box, but what you gotta do is get in line with this little crevice here. Pull out your snake bite. You see this like these three diamonds. It kind of looks like a K or an R or whatever. You're gonna go to the top corner of this one right here. Left click, and that one will bounce off.
Poison orb emitting.
All of left side. There's no way to see through this nade unless potentially you can see over this corner if you had like a sage wall. But outside of that, you can't see the corner. They have to push through the smoke, and you have access to zip lines to get to A.
Poison's off.
Alright, last nade in mid is from bottom left of mid, and before you try to throw this, let's make sure you clear this little right angle here as that you can be seen and wall banged from it. Once you've done that, get in line with this drum handle here on this little corner. Look up, find the corner where these two wood pieces meet, and just slightly above that, left click. It's pretty loose, pretty easy to land, so don't be too finicky about it as long as you're just above the corner.
Poison
when you activate that
emitting.
nade, it covers the full right side door so they can't see you. There's no way they can peek out. They're stuck back here, there's no vision. The only thing you do need to be aware of is they could still be in this corner and they're not blocked off by the nade. But outside of that,
Poison's
let's
off.
head to B. Alright, for our first nade on B is for the double box boost as you get into B site. Now, this one will take some practice. It is a little wonky and you may miss it a couple times, but what you gotta do is you gotta get lined up with this sheet on the very edge of it here, like so. And then you see these like light yellow, maybe brown stripes. You gotta get with your snake bite, not your Poison Cloud, in this bottom left hand corner here of the brown stripe, or like the far left of the brown stripe. Left click. This nade takes a second to land, but when it does, it lands perfectly on top of boost, so they have to get off, they have to move out of the site. The farthest they can play is right here, which isn't really that amazing of an angle, but you can check for it. And with that, let's move on to the next one. For this next nade, I do use my specific crosshair to line this up. So if you guys want to see what my crosshair in Valorant is, I'll quickly scroll through that. If you guys want to copy it, here are my options. Alright, with that out of the way, this one is for back left sight behind the wooden pillar, or whatever you want to call it. First, what you gotta do is get on top of this fan on this left corner. You don't want to go up this trash bag. You gotta be in the left corner of it. Get your snake bite nade out, and I use the bottom of my crosshair with the top of the antenna, and you left click, and that one will land flush right behind this wood pillar here, forces them to the back of it. That way they can't just easily jiggle peek the corner. You can use this in combination with, you know, a wall just to easily fight this guy, and he's pushed back into this open area instead of being able to jiggle peek this wood pillar. Even though it is wall bangable, it's still his advantage. Alright, both my retake nades come from the same spot, but I'm still going to do these in separate clips. This is for both retake on B site. First, what you make sure you do is make sure this guy doesn't push you through this tunnel here, you know. Make sure you're safe in CT spawn, but what you gotta do is get into this little corner here, like so. Line up each of these little pegs. You can count, will have a different nade on it, but for this one, you go bottom right of the second peg. Just get it over the edge like so, and this nade will land on top of boxes of heaven here. Kind of limits how much you have to look at in heaven coming out, so you really don't have to look at this angle. Just forces them into two specific spots instead of having this whole area to look at. With that, move on to the last nade. So again, last nade is from the same exact spot in this little corner here. This one is for back right sight. It's not a perfect nade, but what it does do is it pushes them into two specific spots, making it much easier for you to peek the back right sight. So you gotta do is get between the 5th and 6th peg right down the middle, like so. Left click so it just gets over the edge. And the nade will land perfectly in the back, so it covers off this front area. He can only be on top of the box or in this corner. So instead of you having to worry about this whole area, the two spaces that he can be in. And that should help you retake B site. Hope you've enjoyed these nades. I'll be working on a Haven guide next. I'll make sure to let you guys know when I put it out. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe.